eyes that see so deep, endless hours, no sleep.
Hello, vampires, and welcome back to Mystic Falling, a weekly recap podcast of CW's The Vampire Diaries from two elder millennial women who surprisingly have never watched the show before. I am Beth Elderkin.
And I'm Abbey Kindler.
And today we are going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 6, Lost Girls, which is a play on Lost Boys, which you would think is related to Peter Pan, but it's actually in reference, I'm guessing, to the 1980s film with Kiefer Sutherland, which is a cult classic vampire story that takes place in California. So that's what I'm guessing this is a nod to.
But I mean, it could also be Peter Pan because they are little boys who never grow up.
That is true. It is exactly. We're going to go ahead and do a recap of this episode, talk about some of our standout moments, a little bit of behind the scenes, some book lore comparisons, and of course, our fashion moments, of which there are some, both good and bad. I have opinions on Stefan's garb in the 1800s.
I have opinions about Damon's garb in the 1800s.
But that's a different concern.
It's, okay, I'm sorry, it's a twofold concern. One outfit, strong, bad. The other one, he just looks like Huckleberry Finn, and I can't with it. I can't look with like a 32-year-old man who's wearing a little straw cap. Anyway.
Well, Abby, take us on a journey through Lost Girls, which is a pretty big episode.
This episode was jam-packed with lore and the plot moving in crazy directions. Just a whole bunch happened. Mm-hmm. My question from last week about how do vampires get made in this world was answered. Very exciting. All right, so this episode aired October 15th, 2009. So as we downshift into spooky season, the perfect episode, graveyards, dance parties, immortal beings being made. We see Elena confront Stefan as she did in the last episode. I actually was confused when it opened because it seemed like a lot of the previous episode. I was like, what is this? And all through this episode, he's being super weird and sus. We'll just use that word. The whole time he's like, I can tell you, but you can never tell anybody. I'm a vampire. And she's like, oh my God. I'm so proud of Elena in this episode. Many boundaries get drawn. And she's just like, absolutely not. Hard stop. Gotta go. Leave me alone.
I agree, because he makes really weird choices in this episode to demonstrate his power as a vampire. Like, there's a lot of things he could do to show Elena that he's a vampire, but he does all the ones that scare the shit out of her. Like, she turns away and he's flashed over there. He comes into her room uninvited and slams the door so she cannot leave. How is she going to trust you after that?
It's just like, oh, quick, do something normal. Scare her. Like, he's been a vampire for so long, he doesn't even know how to be a real boy. He's just like, I know. I'll show her how quick and fast I am in my new sneakers. Oh, no, why is she screaming? But then she's like, okay, I guess. So he takes her to, like, the ruins of his former home. Mm-hmm. And is just like, yep, this is where I used to live. And she's like, oh, my God. And there's so much almost Twilight. So much so, there's even a chord progression that happens that there's like 4 notes. It's the ding, ding, ding. I can't do it. But there's like a little chord progression in the middle of it. My ears literally perked up. I'm like, that's just Twilight music. This is Twilight music. Oh no. They cut it short. Anyway, because she goes, how long have you been like this? As opposed to how long have you been 17 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I was born in the 1800s. There's so many dramatic pauses. I loved this episode so much. But then we get a flashback because we've gone to the former home, so we get a flashback. A surprisingly short flashback.
Yeah, I thought it was going to take up more space in the episode.
I really thought it was going to be like a whole episode. Like before we got back to the real action of just like, here's some lore drop for you. What we get is we learn that Stefan and Damon basically meet Katherine at the same time. Mm-hmm. And she looks gorgeous, beautiful dress. She comes in a carriage. They put the little footstool out for her. So clearly she comes from money. And she apparently wants both of these young men. And twist of twists, she is their maker. Mm-hmm. She makes them both. But before she makes them both vampires, she uses them and just scrubs their memory of the other one or her relationship with the other one so that both of them think that they're dating her by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Diabolical.
Yes, and we'll talk more about this in the standout moment because there are some interesting book comparisons with Katherine that I wanted to get into just in this introduction. I don't want to get into it in too much detail because I think we're going to learn a lot more about Katherine, but there's already some pretty stark differences between the Katherine in the book and the Katherine in the show.
Oh, yeah.
You know, suffice to say, I'm already liking the show Katherine more.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. We also just randomly learned, because for some reason it has to be this way, Damon was a Confederate soldier. Fantastic.
Fighting the lost cause.
Just, you know what? Vampires and Confederacy. What could be better? Damon, back in the present, back in 2009, kills all of the cemetery people.
I told you that was going to happen.
Yep.
The first shot we were going to get of Damon was going to be him with all the bodies in the cemetery, which... Well, I was right about that, but I was wrong about something else. I found out that the cemetery was an actual real location. It's not a set.
Well, way to go, Beth.
Sorry, I have to issue a correction.
Corrections corner.
Corrections corner. I'm going to make a YouTube apology video. I'm sorry.
You need more of a white background.
Yeah, maybe a dryer running.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to make this. You had to be sitting on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look like you've been crying all night. So
yeah, but I probably wasn't. I faked it.
No, you're just tired and hungover because you were partying. Because you're not sorry. He kills all the friends. Vicki still alive because she, if nothing else, is a survivor. Mm-hmm. This girl has had one hell of a month. This poor girl. And so he burns the bodies. And just decides to take Vicki as a plaything because he wants his ring back. Mm-hmm. And he's just been like calling Stefan saying, hey, by the way, if you don't give me my ring back, I'm going to have to start doing some terrible things. And Stefan said, absolutely not. So Damon started doing terrible things. I think as a brother, Stefan should realize that Damon doesn't usually make a lot of false promises.
Yeah, well, no, I think the thing is he doesn't really care until he threatens Elena. I think he legit does not care. Like, I think it's willing collateral. Like, he is fine with collateral as long as it's not Elena. The moment he's like, I'm going to hurt Elena, is like, oh shit, I got to get his ring back.
Yeah, I think it's also that. And also, by the way, he's just going to start making vampires to cause trouble. Mm-hmm. So Stefan decides he's going to give the ring back eventually, so he's carrying it on his body. Meanwhile, Damon is having a in-the-dark party because he can't deal with the sun, which there's just sun everywhere, and I had to rewatch the dance scene because I was, like, clocking where Damon was standing. He only at one point does actually walk through sunlight, and they don't recognize it. So while that's happening, Vicki unloads all of her trauma, and they're sharing blood because Damon is helping her heal by giving her blood. That's what we think is happening. Mm-hmm. And then Vicki tells him all about the terrible life that she is leading here in Mystic Falls. And he goes, oh my God, that sucks. You know, it would make your life a lot better dying, and snaps her neck. I came out of my seat. Damon, no, what have you done?
Did they establish in the show that to become a vampire, you have to drink the blood and then die? Or have they explained that in the show?
No, I think this was the establishing how a vampire gets made. I think it's you have to drink vampire blood, die, and then you have to feed on human blood. Like, I think those are the three, like, central tenets of becoming a vampire.
Yes, and that was... See, I knew that because it was in the book. So that's why I was wondering. I was like, I think this is a reveal in the show that you have to die between the steps. Because a lot of times in vampire lore, once you have the vampire's blood, once you exchange blood, basically your heart stops and you're reborn as a vampire. This one is very different. Basically, you can drink vampire blood and just chill. You just kind of have the vibes of being a vampire. Mm-hmm. But if you die while you have the vampire blood in you, that's when you start to transition. And then you have to drink human blood in order to complete the transition.
Correct. It did also feel very True Blood to me because when humans in the True Blood universe drink vampire blood, they get kind of, they get loopy. And I think it's them. They get really horny. Because I know when the vampires drink Suki's blood, she is a fairy, so when the vampires drink her blood, they're able to walk in sunlight, which is why all the fairies die, is because all of the vampires drain fairies so that they can walk in the sun. So, but they get basically drunk and go into the sun, which is like a really great scene where Eric gets drunk on her blood and is just like playing in a Louisiana river trying to fight a crocodile. It's a whole thing. 10 out of 10, look it up. So he does all this. Damon also stops by Elena's house to be like, hey, by the way, tell your boyfriend I need my ring back. Also stop inviting random strangers into your home because I'm going to start turning everyone in this town into a vampire, was the vibe I got from that conversation.
I have a feeling Damon's kind of relieved that he now can talk to Elena about being a vampire. Like, he doesn't have to hide that from her anymore. Because he's been, coding it and all these, like, the ancestors and the original brothers and all the stuff. He's like, nope, that was me. Vampire. I'm living forever. I'm super chill.
And now I can be scary. Yeah. And he can be scary in the way that he wants to be. Like, I like that Stefan's not trying to be scary, but Damon's just like, finally, I can be as scary as I want to.
Would you guys like to see a puppy? This is why you have to watch on YouTube.
Speaking for the whole audience, yes.
Here she is. This is Minnie. Here's Minnie. Yeah.
Hi, Tim's hand. Hi. Lick.
She is 9 weeks. She is a beagle rat terrier mix rescue. Someone literally threw her and her sister out of a car.
How dare they?
And they were found on someone's property, and we found her through a rescue through a rescue group.
Adopt, don't shop. Oh, yeah. I love it.
Adopt, don't shop. No, I would never like get like a pedigree dog. That's just not my style.
Yeah.
Anyway, first dog. Yay! All right.
The fun. I also have a like $70 pound puppy that I got who is about 80 pounds and snoring in my hallway. So.
Ooh, fun.
Okay, so. Sorry, now I'm laughing. Basically, this is when Vicki wakes up and she just thinks she's hungover.
Mm-hmm.
And so she like goes out into the world with her big Paris Hilton glasses on. They keep saying, and I know that this probably wasn't the intention, but for whatever reason they keep saying transition. Mm-hmm. She's transitioning. I just really wish they would have said, in my 2025 lens, really wish they would have gone with transforming.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they just kept saying transitioning so many times. I'm like, okay. But she goes to see Jeremy because Damon has coaxed her into doing so. Mm-hmm. And so she ends up at Jeremy's house, and then they call Matt over, and they just still think she's hungover. So they're trying to call Stefan.
She pulls out all the food from the fridge and just starts. I thought she was literally going to pull out some raw beef and just start munching.
I thought that was what was going to happen too. This whole time, we're also getting information about, again, another flashback where Stefan is revealing his relationship with Katherine and giving us the reveal of the fact that she is his maker, and how she toyed with him and things like that. Like, she was the bad guy, which now opens up so many more questions about his wanting to see Elena. I have so many more questions now. So many crazy questions. But then they find out that something might be happening, so they hot tail it back to the house, which I only have one question. Where is the aunt? Where is she at? Because she's not on a date with her newscaster guy, because he is walking through the woods with
Sorry, Logan Fell can't come to the phone right now. Because he's dead.
Why? Because he's dead. Look what you made him do, Beth. He was walking the woods with a makeshift pocket watch that I guess points at vampires.
I guess. I'm guessing that's why they wanted the pocket watch, because it's basically like a vampire compass.
Yeah.
Pointing north to the vampire.
They had like a bunch of different things, like they put it together, but like they had separated it Legend of Zelda style, where you must connect these things from these different temples and put them together to get this one pocket watch that will lead you to this vampire. It was a full video game quest, because then he was also sent out. This is newscaster guy whose name was, you said Logan?
Logan Fell, yeah.
I didn't learn it. Don't care, I guess. Because he goes out with wooden bullets and a stake. They need to shoot. The police officer is explaining this all very politely to him. You're going to shoot him with these wooden bullets that would definitely work in this kind of gun. Don't worry about it. It's not going to kill him, but it is going to incapacitate him. That'll get you to get closer, and then you're going to stake him. Have you ever staked anybody before? He's like, no. Have you? And she's like, oh, well, got me there. I loved that whole exchange.
Yeah. I legit thought she was going to be like, well, I am a cop, so.
Yeah. Damn.
In Mystic Falls, ACAB.
Just ACAB written in the background. Yeah, so he decides to go out and do this. Vicki starts kind of awakening, and Stefan is trying to, like, coach her through what's going on, because she has two choices. She can feed on human blood and live a life of an immortal, blood-sucking monster person who will never look a day older in her life, and she looks stunning. I mean, during the whole dance party, I just kept thinking, I wish this is what I looked like when I was having a random dance party. She looks stunning. Like, This is amazing. Do you want to look like this forever and you just have to sometimes drink blood? Or would you rather die forever?
And he's trying to tell her to take option B.
Just die.
Just, you know.
I'll help you die. I'll just put
what?
a little pillow over your head and you won't even know. You're just going to die. And she's like, you know what? This sucks. Leaves. Goes to the cemetery. Stefan chases her down. At the cemetery, he gets shot by Logan Fell. And Damon shows up, kills him, rips the bullet out of Stefan, and gives the hard line of, if anyone's going to kill you, it's going to be me. So no one else gets to kill. No one gets to kill my brother except me. How dare you? And they look over and Vicky's just sitting there feeding on It was such a, like, toddler moment. She just has all this blood all over her face and she just looks up. Sorry. I'm sorry. I drank his blood. I'm a vampire now. And she takes off into the woods and Damon just says, oops. But he has his ring back. He fished it. He pickpocketed his brother who was dying and carried on with his life. And he's decided he's going to be nothing but trouble. Stefan goes back to Elena's house. She says, oh my God, is that blood? And he goes, don't worry about it. Do you want to know some more cool things? And she goes, no, I certainly don't. You've told me everything. I trust you. I'm not going to say anything to anybody. I will keep your secret. However, I cannot date you. That's insane. See you later. And she shuts the door and has such an emo teenage moment. I cheered. Back against the door, sliding down as she sobs openly. Ugh.
Oh yeah, when she closed the door and she leaned against it, I was counting the seconds until she did the slide down the wall.
Yeah.
And for a second I thought it wasn't going to happen. I was like, "Oh, good for you guys. You broke the trap." Oh, no. Now she's sliding onto the floor. Her legs cannot hold her up. She is too sad.
She is too distraught. She must be held up by the door frame as she slides. And she I couldn't possibly and she sobs. And that is our recap. That is everything and anything. So
I wanted to start by my standout moment is the origin of meeting Katherine and just this initial portrayal of Katherine, because I do want to give the actress Nina Dobrev some props because she did a lot in not a lot of time. Like she had an idea of who Katherine is and how she's different from Elena, and she came in with it like right away. Like the moment you saw her come out of the carriage, you're like, that's a different person. That is not Elena. And in the book, of course, the whole caveat of it takes place in the Italian Renaissance. The similarity is she is their maker in the books. Katherine did make them, but she's a lot more, not necessarily innocent, but she's like weaker, more frail and fragile, almost childlike, where she's like, I just want us to be a happy throuple and like and get along. And she basically, like, can I spoil what happens to her in the book, or do we want to save that?
I say let's save it, just because I don't know what it is, and I don't know how it's going to line up with the show. So let's pocket it. Something
tells me it's going to be very different in the show. But yes, so this Katherine, the moment she comes in, she's demure, but you can see this fire and intelligence behind her eyes. She's acting like a manic pixie dream girl, but you can tell she knows she's acting. Like this is a performance she's putting on for these boys. She sees these boys. These are hot boys. I want these hot boys. who are they going to want? Oh, they're going to want a girl who can pick up the football and, oh, I got to be chased. Oh, no, I'm going to play tag.
No, don't catch me. Oh, no, not a tickle fight. Not a tickle fight.
And then, like the moment that she feeds on him and then he wakes up the next day, he's freaking out and she just like goes into like serious mode. She is no nonsense. I don't know how long she's been undead, how long she's been a vampire. Maybe she's from the Italian Renaissance and they just kind of shifted it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I really felt like Nina came into it with a sense of who this character is. And I was very impressed with how she portrayed it. And of course, the outfits.
Big skirts, a nice corset, just some frills, everything. The whole scene where she's like getting her corset laced up and Stefan wakes up and is like, what's going on? She's like, leave us. And they go and she just turns, she's talking in a different register than Elena does. She's talking with a lot more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this girl didn't write in a diary.
No.
She doesn't have to write down her thoughts because all of her thoughts are in her head and they're gold and they're fine where they're at. She doesn't have time for it. She's busy doing literally anything else with her time. You can tell that she's not, I guess we don't have that much of a snapshot, but not as childlike, more of a very Dom behavior. We'll put it that way. Dom coded. I don't know if it's full swing, but
it's interesting that you mentioned the corset lacing because that I felt was actually very had a strong representation to her character. So the comparison I made was like in Titanic. There's that scene where Rose's mom is lacing her up while essentially controlling her life. Like it's a metaphor. She is being laced into this role of being the submissive wife. Like she is being choked into a role that she does not want.
Mm-hmm.
Here, it felt like the exact opposite. Like she was being laced into the corset, but she had all the power, which I think is really what they're trying to convey with Katherine is like, you think that, oh, she's a woman in the 1800s. She's going to be submissive. She's going to have to play that role. But in the end, even though she has all the trappings, she holds all the power. Like if she wanted, she could just take that corset off and run around naked and she wouldn't give a shit. Because like, I'm going to murder everybody who doesn't like it.
And she probably also just straight up doesn't care about the corset. She probably has the tightest lace corset on the block because she doesn't need to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Her rib cage, who cares? Lace it up as tight as you can. I will have the tiniest waist in 3 parishes. Let's go. Well, I'm sorry, they're in Virginia, wherever they're at, in counties. I think counties in Virginia. But yeah, she's not going to need that. She can just be laced up. She's not oppressed by it.
And man, that corset gave her a figure.
Woo!
Damn.
Foxy.
Good for her.
Good for everybody.
I mean, yeah. So, Abby, what was your standout moment for this episode?
The Vicki Damon party, the Damon being bored, so he's just drinking all of the alcohol in the house. I love that vampires can, I guess, get at least kind of drunk. I enjoy this. And then Vicki just being blood drunk off of Damon's blood. And then they just have like an 80s dance party time that goes on for quite a while, but it's fun. I'm having a good time. Vicki keeps dancing in the sunlight, so I have a feeling that's going to be a problem with her if she doesn't have a ring, because I'm going to guess these rings are not readily available. So she's not going to be able to bask in the sunlight like the boys do.
Well, maybe, because I believe that, because Katherine had that very visible cameo necklace, I'm guessing that that's hers.
Yeah.
So maybe every vampire has the opportunity to make one. And maybe we'll learn about that or something.
Okay.
Because, like, how did the brothers get it?
Yeah, who knows? So they have this whole time. The whole time Vicki is, like, drunkenly just chatterboxing. And he was like, yeah, sure, cool, babe, whatever, awesome, drink. And my favorite thing that happens that doesn't really get talked, like, they don't talk about what they're doing, but Damon, like, lures them upstairs, and then they just trash Stefan's room.
And he's like, his shirt is open. He's got his 6-pack out, and he's just like grooving on the stairs. Like it is very fun. A little fun behind the scenes thing is the actors who play Damon and Vicki, apparently they choreographed part of it themselves. And it was Damon's idea to use the song "Enjoy the Silence" by Depeche Mode. He suggested it. So
I love it. I love it.
he's got ownership of this party scene. He wanted to make this party scene happen. Like he gets the silliness that is needed to give the show a little bit of levity.
Yeah. Just that little, like the not full camp, just a spice.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever camp light is.
Yeah.
Just, we got a little bit of that. So I just really enjoyed the song. Like, I enjoyed the song. I enjoyed all of the choreography. I enjoyed what was happening as you watched her downfall, basically. You just watched her, like, at the end of the episode, you were like, wait, why did she, like, let him anywhere near her? This is the same thing. She's just continuously falling into the exact same trap to just be around somebody who might validate her, which is tragic, but tracks with her character. So.
What are your thoughts on getting our first vampire conversion in this show, and 2, it being Vicki? What are your thoughts on that?
I like it a lot, only because it's a character that we know and we can connect with, because it's episode 6. I mean, how bonded are you with anybody? She was a character we were like, we're tired of this. Of course, she's going to be the vampire one. So if she dies or if she disappears or something like that, we're not going to feel too conflicted. But we were able to get all the information of how a vampire gets made, and I have a feeling if I was a betting woman, that this is going to come up later about with a main character of some sort, and maybe there's a third secret option where you don't need to do either. If you're just strong-willed and named Elena, you don't have to become a vampire. You just power through. I liked it a lot. I think I like the idea of Vicki being a vampire because she's going to be a problem for Stefan, and I believe Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Damon did it recklessly just to tick off Stefan, but I think it's about to be his problem. And he's going to be so mad about it.
Yeah, because she has an addictive personality. Like, she literally gets addicted to Damon's blood. She sees it as a high, and she treats it as a high. And now, she's going to get a high from human blood that she will not get from animal blood. So, like, which one is she going to choose? Because she has that impulsive, addictive personality. I really like it too. The other reason I like it is because it gives her character something of meaning. Like, I have not liked what they've done with her so far, but I think part of what they were doing was building her up to be the first vampire conversion, because the pieces that they set up match very well with a new vampire, like a troublemaking vampire, a wild card, as you might say. And and I'm going to make a prediction.
Ooh, listening.
It's based on nothing but my own feelings. Something tells me that Jeremy is going to become a vampire hunter, and he's going to go after Vicki. Oh, because the watch is his.
That's great.
I think he's going to be brought into the town council, and I think he's going to become a vampire hunter. That's my prediction.
I love that. That will be, could you imagine? He's like, I finally found one. Gun raised, staring down at Vicki. Oh my God. Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I also, I will say, I like the idea that we're setting up that it's not easy, but a little less complicated to make vampires in this lore. Mm-hmm. I think, feeding vampire blood, killing you, raising you, having you have human blood. Those are 3 pretty easy steps. In True Blood, you had to bury them.
Mm-hmm.
You would bury them, and then the maker had to lay with them the whole time for a week. And then that's a whole lot that has to happen. In Twilight, you have to be drained almost to the end of your life force, and then maybe you'll live. So it's a very dangerous conversion. So I like that this is a little simpler, because I think that it leads to, they're gonna just start making so many vampires.
Oh, so many.
There's gonna be so many teenage vampires running around, and it's gonna be Elena being no. She's gonna be real conservative and against it. Absolutely not. I believe in just being a human. It's she won't be a vampire hunter. She'll be for vampire rights and things like that, but she also doesn't want to be one. She's no, I'm good. I would like to be 25 one day. That sure would be neat.
I'm very excited for this, but the more that they turn people, the fewer human characters they're going to have. So I'm guessing either we're just going to get an influx of new supporting lead characters, or maybe there's an undo spell. Maybe Bonnie comes in, who was not in this episode. She comes in and she's got some witch magic where she can just undo vampirism and make you, and In the words of Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast, I can't wait to be human again.
Oh, she can just she'll start you on fire and burn the vampirism away from you.
Exactly.
There you go.
While she watches in a trance. And then
exactly. She's just staring, and then everyone's on fire. Let's talk, Beth, about the good fashion. Let's talk about our best looks.
The fashions. Abbey, what inspired you this week?
I will say, inspiring. First of all, just I said it before, but Vicky's party, camisole, little boy short underpants situation, that is what I want to imagine I look like when I was a teenager dancing around in my underwear to In Sync and Backstreet Boys. I'm like, I'm dancing, I'm so cute. I wanted to believe that I looked like that. I didn't look like that. I love that. It just was a cute look. But I also really I did like Katherine's period garb.
Mm-hmm.
Beth, I didn't they could have done something with her makeup.
Mm-hmm.
The eyeliner was just 2009.
Yeah.
So it looked very costume party when they got too close to her face.
Yeah, it didn't have the rouge. It was not period accurate. They would be using kohl for the eyeliner, KOHL. They would be using paints. They made these paints for blush. The ways that they would create a beauty on a face was not, MAC Cosmetics.
No, and I mean, again, her hair looked fantastic. However, it did look like it was done with a curling iron and styling gel. It looked great. I loved it. It was fantastic, but it did look very modern. You used modern tools to make this as opposed to finger curls and just dirty hair that you haven't washed and you've just got it super pinned from the night before. I really appreciated the attention to detail on her dress.
Yeah.
Her clothes were immaculate.
They were gorgeous. So one fashion I did not care for. I had mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it again. Stefan's suit, with the knee-length jacket. It looked just not good. The issue I had was the material. The material looked cheap, and it did not look like something that an aristocrat in the South would have worn.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they didn't have accents, and that bugged me.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't want to go for that. I did appreciate that they let Stefan's hair down.
Mm-hmm.
He did look a lot more like Damon's brother that way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Their hair looked much more similar. But speaking of terrible outfits, poor Damon.
His little bowler hat.
First of all, he's in a little straw hat and suspenders. What are we doing? Why is he about to go whitewash a fence for Tom Sawyer? What are we doing? Why is this happening? It made him look older, if that makes sense. He just looked like an adult man trying to be 12. It was so weird. And then just when I thought that couldn't get any worse, smash cut to him in his Confederate Army gear and Stefan saying the most bone-chilling line. Ah, yes, your commitment to the Confederacy is astounding, or something to that nature. And you're just like, I think we could have probably done without literally any of this.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time believing that my boy Damon would be on a losing team.
Maybe that's why he left.
Maybe that's why he left. Because, he doesn't seem like someone who'd be like, oh, this isn't, no, I don't like any of this. Because, it was just a lot of hey, it's the South. He's in the Confederate Army. We're not going to talk about the people that are also, the two women that are also with Elena and waiting on her hand and foot. We're just going to let that be. We're just not going to address it.
Yeah, we're not going to address the line of slaves that were waiting to greet Katherine when she arrived at the manor.
We didn't need to do that. We could have just skimmed right on by that. We don't need that. That's not for anybody. No one's enjoying this.
I mean, maybe we just could have not done the American Civil War time for when Katherine was here. We already changed it from the book. Why did we have to change it to Civil War South?
That is because there is this misconstrued idea that what people liked about Jasper in Twilight was the fact that he was a Confederate general. Like, it's just like, oh, no, that is, most people like Jasper in spite of that. Like, that character don't like that he was part of the Confederate. Like, it's the worst part of the books. Why did we do this? But everyone's like, oh, everyone must be super into vampires who are also Confederate soldiers. Let's make one.
I think that absolutely is true, but I think it goes back further. There's a whole thing about vampires being these sensual, mysterious, dark characters. And in America, the closest thing we have to like a gentleman character is the Southern gentleman. Like we have this myth of the Southern gentleman being this like sexy, because it's super hot outside and he's dangerous and he's still well coiffed and he still can speak in the middle of a crowd and he's got wealth and means. We're not going to talk about all the gross, unpleasant stuff that goes along with it, like the reasons they have that wealth.
You go, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to make that man a peach pie. Why couldn't we make them cowboys? Why can't they be vampire cowboys? Come on, let's go. Like just American frontiersmen. Like.
Cowboy vampire sounds freaking awesome. But yeah, like if you go into like Europe, you've got the, Transylvania, you've got the sexy vampires from these Eastern European nations. The idea is that it's a sexy gentleman, and the Southern gentleman, I feel like, is the stereotype that we have come to accept as being the closest thing to a European mysterious sexy gentleman. If that makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense. I get it. But like a part of my brain is trying to actively fight against it. Because I'm like, what else would be a sexy gentleman in that time period? And all I'm thinking is, what if the entire cast of Hamilton were vampires?
Oh my God. Abby, we need funding. Let's start our Kickstarter.
Kickstarter is up on our Patreon now. Give what you can. Let's go.
Hey, you know what? Pride and Prejudice and Zombies was a huge hit. We're going to make Alexander Hamilton and vampires. Oh, no, they did that already with Lincoln. Like, they made Abraham Lincoln first a vampire hunter.
But wouldn't it be funnier if it was just the full musical, but just like they're inexplicably vampires? We never talk about it, but they are just vampires.
Alexander Hamilton, and he likes to drink human blood. Oh, wait, man, the song where he talks about being tempted, falling into temptation, takes on a whole new meaning.
Listen, when she starts singing that she hopes he burns, she wants him to burn. Yeah. Listen, it writes itself. Beth, you and I, we're going to get sued by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Let's go.
Well, everybody, that was season 1, episode 6, Lost Girls. Thank you so much for joining us for this latest venture into Mystic Falls and Mystic Falling. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get those podcasts. If you want to watch our wonderful faces and see my puppy, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram and our Facebook page. We're going to be back next week with season 1, episode 7, Haunted. Ooh, it's a Halloween episode. Yes. I can't wait to see what costume Caroline is wearing.
Oh my God, she's going to be... Hold on. Placing our bets now. Okay, Sexy Cat is too simple. She would probably do something... It's going to be an animal of some sort, I feel like.
I think she's actually going to go for Southern Belle.
Southern Belle. Interesting.
Because she wants Damon. She wants Damon back.
My shot is just going to be based purely on early 2000s vibes. I think she's going to dress up as a Playboy bunny.
Oh.
Because it's the 2000s and Hugh Hefner was so hot right now. So, gross. But yeah, like she's going to be like, oh, that's what sexy is. It's wearing a little bodysuit with ears and a tail, and that's all she's gonna wear.
Well, everybody, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. In the meantime, keep your ring on, drink that vervain, and Abby, what would your 2009 costume be?
Oh, Beth, it's gonna be the Playboy bunny. I'm so shamed, but it would be Elle Woods, a hero.
Group costume. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh.